people caught in different patterns actually will communicate on different channels.
I find that there's a lot of relationship breakdowns when one person is not practicing CCC.
If you want to communicate with somebody, try putting your message on the channel in the language that they speak.
I would love to hear about some of your communication tools within relationships. I talk a lot about CCC, which is crystal clear communication, because I find that there's a lot of relationship breakdowns when one person is not practicing CCC. They may think, why doesn't this person just know what I'm thinking? How come they can't read my mind? Things like that. So you have a lot of communication strategies, and I feel like they're so important. We're not taught this stuff in school. So what are some of the best communication strategies and tools that you have discovered that we could implement into our relationships?
Yeah. So I don't know your CCC way of doing it, but I'm guessing that you're talking about being personal, making it an I statement rather than a you statement. I felt scared when you did that rather than you shouldn't do that,
Yes.
right? We can integrate this with the 5 personality patterns by understanding that people caught in different patterns actually will communicate on different channels. For instance, a person who goes strongly into leaving pattern probably is pretty strong on the airwaves, on the psychic channel. And they're listening there. They might not be listening to the words. Whereas a person who gets really caught in rigid pattern probably is much more interested in the exact words and not really listening so much on the psychic channel. So you see, this is about if you want to communicate with somebody, try putting your message on the channel in the language that they speak. If you can talk to them in their mother tongue, they're going to get the message more clearly. Similarly, a person caught in merging pattern typically will be more heart-centered. You sort of have to be pretty strong in your heart-centered in order to make the merging pattern work for you. So if you want to connect with somebody who gets caught in merging pattern or is caught there right now, and you want them to hear what you're saying or what you're asking them, say you have a request for them. So you might phrase it as, would you do this for me? So you make it personal, direct, and a request, would you do this for me? So they get, oh, I can show you that I love you by doing this, right?
And people love to help. They love to help.
Oh, they
and
do.
support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But they will be much more receptive than if you say, well, there's this big abstract truth that you should do this. And they're going to go, I don't care about the abstract truth.
No one wants
What
to be
about you?
told. No one wants to be told what to do. Nobody. Not even your husband or your wife or anyone. No one likes to be told what to do.
It becomes an affront to autonomy. So that's why it's much more skillful to say what you want and acknowledge, I would love for you to do this. And, are you willing? Would that be okay?
And usually most people are like, yeah, sure, I can do that. They like I
Yeah,
said before,
absolutely.
they want to help. Okay.
Because your request is not bumping up against their autonomy. You've already acknowledged their autonomy. You say, oh, I know that, you may want to do this, but you may not. I would love it if you would do this for me. Or it would help me if you would do this for me.
And same for children?
Sure. I mean, what's different?
Well, I'm just thinking like how little. I mean, you could start this from day one. Yeah, exactly. Like saying, using this language with them from day one, because
Yeah.
even though they can't speak back, they get it.
But until a child gets to be about 2 years old, their will hasn't really come online yet. Their will and strength haven't come online, so they're not thinking in terms of autonomy. They won't feel that their autonomy is being wounded if you give them an order. If they're only 1 year old and you say, come over here, they just want to do what you said. It's one of the great tests for this is, say you have a toddler who's 18 months old, up, you know, really into walking. It's great to walk. And they're going somewhere and you look ahead and you think, oh, that's going to be bad. And you pick them up and you turn them and they walk in the new direction, right? They just were walking. And when you turned them, it's not a big deal. But if they're 24 months old or 30 months old, you pick them up and turn them, they turn back. Because they felt like I was going there. You put me somewhere else. I wanted to go there. It becomes a challenge to their autonomy, right? And that's why we have this expression, they're terrible twos, because that's when the kid gets sensitive to autonomy and wants to have their own way, wants to have a vote.
Interesting. It's good to know. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.